right, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Going to get this rolling so we can let people start jumping on. It is the last Whiskey Wednesday of the holiday group. And as you can see, I was really pushing for this and I was able to do it. I got it done. And here we are in the bar. And we got this. So we get to do one Whiskey Wednesday in the bar. And also, I got a special guest.
Hey everyone.
This hunk of a man is Matt Sexton. He is the owner and what did you call it? Director, right?
I'm the practice director at OURORX.
So he does everything, and I put him further back so we look the same size. Is basically what I'm trying to do because I hate standing next to him. So what, as I had promised y'all, was coming into this with Oro and wanting to talk about a little bit of everything, right? And so I mentioned this last week on this cast, as well as I talked about in the other posts I've been doing, is my journey with hormone replacement therapy with testosterone, and I've been trialing certain peptides and everything over the past year because I want to be able to talk about them as opposed to just saying, oh yeah, I heard they work, so you guys should do them too. So that is what is going to be discussed tonight. Is there a lag on this thing? What's going on with this thing? There we go. Sometimes it lags a little bit, but I'll also watch it on my phone.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Hey, people are jumping on, see? But I don't know why. Yeah, see, it just takes a minute for some reason. And I also did a post a little while ago saying drop your questions for Matt in here. It worked out really well that they came here. He and his wife Bree came here for Thanksgiving. As I've said in the past in posts, but we're going on 20 years?
Yeah.
We've known each other for 20 years. This guy, he met Bree.
A long time.
They met at a house party in my apartment. And so there's a lot of history.
Yes.
A lot of history, a lot of stories, and we're very lucky that
There was an abs check at your door.
There was an abs check.
There was.
I was not doing the abs check.
Yeah.
Who was doing the abs check? Was it Kevin?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Kevin would do that. And then, but then when Matt walked in, he passed the abs check, obviously. And then when Matt walked in to the apartment, into the living room, the first thing he saw was his now wife and I trying to do one-arm push-ups because Bree had challenged me to do a one-arm push-up, and there was some Jack Daniels involved. And I think the first thing you saw was her face planting into the carpet. So that was awesome to see, and he knew it was love at first sight, apparently.
Immediately.
That's how that happened. So we go a long ways back. We've known each other forever, and this is something that, when it comes to things you're putting in your body, when it comes to injections, when it comes to all this stuff, you got to have the trust of somebody that you got to trust that person, and you got to trust their opinion. And Matt is one of those guys that I trust with my life and everything about it. So he and his partner Kent Bowden, another close friend, medical doctor. So they're the ones that started this company, and they're the ones that I will only listen to them when it comes to these things. So, it worked out again that we wanted to have him on to talk about it. So in terms of, what I'm going to do, I told Matt, I'm going to kind of guide this and let him take the reins on this because he can talk more about it. But, there's three main categories that people have a lot of questions about. And the first one is obviously HRT, hormone replacement therapy. Second one is semaglutides, GLPs, GLP-1s, 3s, all those things. It's changing. I didn't even hear about GLP-3 until today when you told me. Right, so I'm still learning about them too. And then obviously peptides. Peptides are very trendy right now. Or I should say the word is trendy right now, but it doesn't always mean what you think it means, right? So we're gonna talk a little bit about that. I think I said that right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, first things first, Matt, where'd my comment section go? Come on, this thing is just lagging on me. I'll do it from this one. There we go. I've got questions pulled up, so we'll let's talk about HRT first. And y'all put the questions. I'm gonna watch on my phone because it's slow on this one. But I think the majority, because we'll talk about it for men and women. And why, but I also know the majority of people on here are women. Men are, I think, a little bit easier when it comes to talking about testosterone. Yeah. It's either high or it's low. So, but let's go down HRT, and how do you talk to it? Like for the first time ever for someone who has no idea and they need to have an explanation of what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. First of all, cheers.
Cheers, brother.
We gotta say cheers to everybody. Okay. That's your that's your loosen up juice. So
Yeah, loosen up.
So,
all right.
all right.
So when somebody calls in, regardless if it's a male or a female, obviously they have to go through the paperwork. Get it. OURORX is a real legit telehealth clinic, so it's going to be just like any hospital, you know. There's copays that we can try to waive. We can waive that either based on medication or based on the first time you do blood work. So speaking of blood work, if you're interested in HRT, that's the first thing we're going to need. Now, we can do that for you. We use Quest Diagnostic, but we're going to check all of your hormone panels. It's the most important, as well as your CBC panels. So your lipids and all that kind of good stuff, ALT, AST, liver, and your other enzymes like your kidneys and everything else. But back to what I was saying about the hormones, we have no way of knowing they're off without that blood work, okay? So that's the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set you up with blood work. Now, if you want to save some money and you have a doctor that can do the blood work for you, specifically your full male or female metabolic hormone panel, we can take that. So you can save some money there. But that would be step number one, would be to get that blood work done.
So the problem with that too is I think people are running into is when they go to their doctor and they say, "Hey, I want to get my labs done." I do the same thing with my primary care physician, but that does not mean it's not the same thing. They're not checking the same thing. Right. So if I get my labs done, great. They're going to check my lipids. They're going to check my just the basic things that you normally check, but they're not checking the specific things that you're talking about.
No. A lot of times they won't check your testosterone. And that can be for a bunch of different reasons. That could be maybe that's just not what they do. Maybe they don't know how to read the panels. Maybe they can't code the ICD coding for your insurance.
Right.
It could be a lot of things.
Yeah. So and then in terms of insurance, if you find a doctor who's cool enough and they'll get those things tested, then it obviously runs through it. But other times they're not. So so you guys understand with OURORX, it is a medical telehealth company. Some plans they can use their insurance, their HSA accounts, right?
Yep, HSA and FSA.
FSA, right?
Yeah.
And this is backed obviously by so with that, and then otherwise you do have to pay for it out of pocket. So which sometimes depends on the labs though. They can be expensive because ours weren't that bad, I don't think.
No, so like I said, we use Quest. Quest dictates the price you pay. It's not like we're making these up. There is actual set prices, right? So for a guy to do the basic labs we need for HRT, I'm actually back that up and say BHRT. Just to go ahead and answer this question before we get it, we do use bioidentical hormones. Okay, just so throw that out there.
Tell them what bio.
That's actually a good question. So bioidentical, we get this a lot.
Yeah.
People are like, I have to have bioidentical for whatever reasons. Okay, bioidentical means it's made from a potato, right? Specifically a yam. So for you sciencey guys out there, we share DNA with the yam.
I did not know that.
Right? So that's what that means. It means it comes from yams. Anyways, getting back on track here from that. Yeah. So yeah, BHRT for that.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna, like I said, we're just gonna. You got me off track now.
So right. So what we're talking about is so when you go and get your labs done, and that's the number one thing, and this is what we're going to talk about as we go into semaglutides as well as peptides. Is the first thing you have to do is find out what's wrong, right?
Oh,
you
right,
have to find out.
Back on track now. Sorry.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. So once we get your labs back, right? You were asking about pricing. That's where we got on track there. So for males, the basic labs through Quest Diagnostics run through us. We will put you in nationwide. So no matter what state you're in, you can go to any Quest, right? It's going to be $201 for a male. Basic labs for a female to get her full, complete metabolic panel done to what we need for the hormones, the HRT, is going to be $204. There's a little caveat with females, though. A lot of these places will put girls on DHEA supplementation to try and raise their testosterone up. That will increase the price of that lab by $70. Okay, so if you're a female and you're thinking about doing this and you're going to a clinic and they're giving you DHEA, go ahead and discontinue that use before the labs if you want to try to save yourself $70 because it will throw a false read on that test.
Right. So, meaning y'all with this is the most important takeaway on this is making sure that you're talking to the right person and asking the right things. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to know what to ask, right? You just might say you're off. And that's why it's important to find someone like Matt and Kent at OURORX or anywhere else that will ask those questions versus just saying, okay, I'm just going to test you because you need to know what you're already on. You need to know what's in your system because then it throws off your levels and then you're wasting your money on that, right?
Yeah.
So that's why you want to really go down this path. So with that, okay, so a couple people have asked, and I love that they asked this because this is exactly how I got into this with you. Was a year and a half ago. I came to you. We were on a ski trip, a boys ski trip, and Matt and Kent were there. And I was like, man, I just, known this guy for 20 years. And I was like, still working out like I have. I just come off the filming to lift more super block actually. And I was like, I feel like shit. I really do. Like my body's not responding. Like I'm not eating worse. I'm not, doing anything different. And Matt said, welcome to your 40s. Pretty much. And he said, get your levels checked because you're a couple years older than me. Not by much.
A little bit.
But he said, get your levels checked. And I did. And that was the biggest thing. So my testosterone, as I've said before, was a 400. Now, that is normal. That is within normal range according to the medical world. So if I had gone to my medical doctor, they would have been like, you're fine.
You're good.
Yeah. And Matt goes, great. You're normal, but it's not optimal.
Right. It's also how do you feel?
Right. And I felt like shit.
Do you feel good?
Right.
Are you going to the gym and getting results? Are you gaining muscle? Are you losing fat like you want to? Do you have brain fog? Do you have focused clarity of thought? Are you getting good sleep? Are you tired the second you wake up in the morning? These are all signs that the testosterone number that you had was not working.
Right. It wasn't working. So at a 400, I said, okay, so what do we do? And he's like, okay, we're going to do the low dose and started with not microdosing, low dose.
Yep.
Right? Basically maintenance though. And within 3 months?
That's about 3 months.
About 3 months, because we checked it every 3 months. And normally you do 6 months to a year, but we did every 3 months because we really wanted to see what was going on. And this is where these guys were so great because Matt knows me. He knows what I do. He knows what I expect and how I expect to feel. And so he was watching those levels very, very closely and came back. And it was just around 1,000. He's like, great, how do you feel now? I'm like, I feel amazing. I feel fantastic. And I've never felt better. I'm never getting off it. So optimal and those are the two biggest words I think is optimal and feel. And how do you feel? And that is the biggest thing where...
also in his blood work. He may feel great, he may be optimal, but as long as his blood work is showing safe numbers for him, we'll continue therapy.
Yes.
Okay. If things start getting thrown off, we gotta tweak that, drop the numbers, maybe drop the strength or something like that. But as long as the patient is healthy and the blood work looks good, we will continue. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was the biggest thing. So with a guy, it's a very easy thing. So Matt, talk about women because we have testosterone. They have more of other things that they have to deal with. So sorry, ladies, you got a lot more to deal with. But this is a big thing. I really want ladies to understand how important this is for you too as you age.
So just like men, we both have testosterone. We both also have estrogen. Okay. But ladies, they got the progesterone. That's another big one. Okay. Not something we have to worry about. For a female, it can really depend on when that number drops. Sometimes it can be any time based on surgeries or even childbirth, but a lot of times you see women around 40, 50, 60 years old, they get into, post menopause, also perimenopause, you can see it there too. And when these numbers drop, you experience all kinds of things, even small things like lower back pain. A lot of downstairs issues, women will complain, same thing as guys though. But unlike men, you'll see the vaginal dryness, the painful sex, the problems having orgasm, the low libido. And then there's, things like osteoporosis as well. The same things as guys with hard time gaining muscle, hard time losing weight, no focus and clarity of the thought, having, we call it foggy brain. Having that as well, being tired as soon as you wake up, not having energy to play with your kids if you have kids, or just go to work and do your daily things, feeling depressed at work. These are all signs of low progesterone, even estrogen and testosterone. They all kind of link together. So women, we got to make sure we get all three of those really optimized for you. And if they're way off, if they're way off, then obviously we're going to check that blood more. But it's with women, just like men, it's an art and a science. So we have to have a conversation with you. We have to figure out who you are. We have to look at your blood work. We have to really figure you out on a biochem level and then adjust the levels for you once we get there.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing, y'all, is you can't just you can't just jump on HRT and think it's going to get fixed. Sorry, ladies have so much going on, and I'm looking through the comments, and one lady was talking about she's had a full hysterectomy, and then she's had surgeries. I mean, like, so y'all have to go through so much more than,
and those are things that can drop your levels.
Exactly. So that's why, again, first step is to talk to someone at a team, and then you get that blood work, because then you know what's going on. And then once somebody knows what's going on, then you can fix it, right? It's just like an injury. If you have an injury, go get an MRI to find out what's wrong with it, so then you know how to fix it. This is not something that you can guess on, and it's not something that you want to guess on. No. It'd be a horrible, and if anybody just throws testosterone at you and says, here, this might fix it, run away.
Yeah.
Don't take it, because it's probably not even like good quality product on that one. But I know that, the word testosterone scares women a lot. It's just like when we start talking about creatine, people, women think something, they're going to get bulky with creatine. You're not going to get bulky with taking testosterone. Because when we talk about, we're talking about this much, like tiny, tiny little amounts. But again, it's all based on the individual. It's all based on your level. So, but we were talking about that in the truck on the way back. If you were saying of, the sexual health aspect of it, and huge. That is huge. And it's something that I think isn't talked about as much in the female world. Like you see commercials all day, every day with the little blue pill for guys, but I don't think they make a little blue pill for women.
It's not blue,
but they make it so. But that's the thing. We do
have something,
yeah. So there's a lot of things out there, ladies, that if you feel like you're not feeling your right space, and you're not getting the help that you need, then that's why you find someone that will help you, obviously. Yeah. But you got to go through that process and understand that there is help and all these things. And this is, again, the overarching disclaimer here, not to substitute for healthy eating and proper exercise.
That's everything.
That is everything, and you have to stay with that. But this is if you're already doing those two things and you're still not feeling like something's changing. Right. That's where it comes in. So
to talk back on the female blue pill.
Yeah.
This is a good topic. So once your hormones are optimized, I'm talking to the females here, because that's first. We got to make sure your hormones are optimized and everything's good first. Think of it as your home base. You got to start there. That's where we're going to start from. We're going to build on that. To take any kind of libido enhancing product without having optimized hormones, it's just not going to work, right? I mean, you'll get some effect, but not the full effect. So we got to fix the root cause first. Once we do that, we can get into things like peptides, like PT141. I'm going to butcher this. I believe the name is bramilamotide. It's the same thing, the same name, PT141 and bramilamotide, same product. And that does increase female wetness, orgasm, pleasure, intimacy.
Yeah. There's a lot. There's a lot out there. There's a lot out there. There's a lot out there.
Intensity. That's what I was thinking of. Intensity.
And who doesn't want that?
Yeah. And we mix that actually with oxytocin, the love hormone.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic. And also, a lot of women don't know that they can take Cialis.
That's true.
Because blood flow.
I didn't know that. You told me that. Yeah.
Blood flow, just like men, women need it too. They got to get the blood down to their bits, right? So same deal. They got to get that blood flow going as well.
So
So we put it into a sublingual troche that dissolves under your tongue. We mix all three together, and it once your hormones are optimized, from the reports we're getting, it works really well.
Is that the horny toad pill? Is that the one you call horny toad?
That was a different company. We call it Lucky Troche.
Lucky Troche. There you go. So troche, under the tongue. So because the first one he did was called horny toad. It's pretty funny on that one. So, but again, the point is, there are so many other things that are going on, ladies, that you can get help with. And I'm not saying HRT is the answer, but you got to find out what's going on first, and then it could definitely help you. So, but then speaking of help, are we good on HRT? Should we move on? Because we could talk about.
I can talk about all
Yeah,
night.
I know.
Yeah.
So,
is there any specific questions?
Honestly, the biggest things were talking about people saying exactly what it was. It is a choice based on the individual. This is, and then one thing is, the question is, like, once you start it, is that it? Are you on it forever?
You don't have to be. It's highly recommended. I highly recommend once you start, and that is because, I'll just throw a number out there, it doesn't matter. Let's say a girl has 20 on the testosterone scale, total MS, and the guy has 200, and both male and female are feeling bad. They're not enjoying their life, they're not enjoying their energy. It's just not working. So in that aspect, what we try to do is we would try to get them both up to a level they would be happy and comfortable at, and everything's working again. And so let's say they do that for a year, and then they decide it's not for them, it's out of their budget requirements, or for whatever reason they stop. You will go back to that original number. Okay, so that being said, knowing that your hormones are not going to climb back up on their own naturally. Once they fall off, that's it, guys. It's unfortunate, but they're just not going to come back.
Yeah.
You can take herbal supplements. You can, get a lot of vitamin D. You can go outside, get a lot of sunlight. All these things help. You can do things to boost your mitochondria, because that's where this all starts, anyways. But they aren't actually going to stay stable. You have to put them in continuously once they're done.
Yeah.
So
We're all dying.
Yes,
Unfortunately, from the inside out, y'all. I hate to say it. It sounds horrible.
Yeah.
We talked about it, but your body, as we reach a point, and it's like, yay, it's not fair, because it's like 25, and everything goes that way afterward. It feels like so. That's the unfair aspect of this. But what I'm feeling now over this past year, at 42, I feel 25 again. I really, really do. My body feels it, my energy levels or anything like that. So, I'm never coming off of my low dose of testosterone as long as I need it, because I know how I feel without it, and I know how I feel with it. So if my body's not going to do it for me, I'm going to give it what it needs.
I'm going to stand up for the rest of my life.
Yeah. So, and y'all, it's for ladies, especially the smaller the dose, it's once a week. And that's if you're doing that. I mean, there's obviously a lot of other options.
There's tons of ways.
There's pellets. There's
We
cream.
microdose some, partially microdose almost everyone, because it keeps the serum level more stable. So you do have the option of once a week, but then you're looking at levels that go up and come back down, then go up and come back down, as opposed to 2 times a week, so the kind of more level, and then 3 times a week if you really wanted to do that. An example, a guy could do that if he was trying to get 100 units in. He could do something like 33.3 3 times a week. And you can use insulin syringes. We recommend that, and that's actually what we provide. Yeah. You can use anywhere from a 31 gauge to a 29 gauge. Actually, I'll answer a question that we didn't get, because I get this all the time in the office. People asking, are insulin syringes still good for intramuscular? The answer is yes, if you can get it into the muscle.
Well, that's why I have the half inch.
Yeah.
So what I use for my testosterone, because I do the cypionate, which is the
medium chain ester.
Yeah. So it's not as thick in terms of the delivery agent, because the first one I tried was the
MCT oil.
The MCT oil, and my body did not like the oil, so switched over. So this is thinner, so it goes into a half-inch 31 gauge insulin needle, and I put it into my thigh, so it goes intramuscular. I haven't had an issue, so my muscles aren't so hard and awesome that it broke the needle.
Reason that works, now he is using a very small gauge needle, guys. You have to understand, Joel has no fat on his legs, though. None. Okay. So if there was any fat there, that insulin needle would go into the fascia and the fat, and that would be considered sub-Q. Okay. Me personally, I use a 29 gauge syringe. The oil flow is easier. It's grapeseed. I use a test blend of cypionate propionate. Right now, I'm actually using cypionate propionate and nanthate. I just like the way it feels better.
Yeah. Well,
I feel stable longer.
Yeah. You know what you're doing on that.
So I use my glutes and to a part that's got no fat on it. So I make sure I bury that thing in there and really get it IM.
It's not, you guys. The point is, it's not that bad.
It's easy.
It's really not.
It's super easy.
And even if you don't like needles, I don't like needles, and I have tattoos. He's covered in tattoos. You can't tell, but it's neither one of us like needles. It just, but you just get used to it now. It's really not that hard. So, okay, so let's shift. So that was HRT. We covered that really, really well. I want to talk about semaglutides, because that's a hot topic, and there's commercials all over the place for it. GLP-1s, GLP-3s.
GLPs.
It's getting crazy.
Yes.
So,
okay, here we go.
What I've said is, because I told you I wanted to try it, right? A while back, I said, hey, send me one, and it was tirzepatide. But very small dose, 15 units a week, 5 units 3 times a week, very small, because I wanted to know what it felt like. I wanted to be able to talk about it and say, this is how I felt on it. And what I did discover the first week, especially because it's something new introducing into your body, was that it really does go down. It really diminishes your hunger cravings. And where even the first day I did it, like I texted Matt, I'm like, I just forgot to eat. which has never happened in my entire life. So there is a place for this stuff, and I truly believe that, and because I know there's a lot of people out there that need help, whether they have an unhealthy relationship with food or unhealthy relationship with certain foods like sugar or something like that. Right. So GLPs can really help that, but it's not the magic potion. So
it is definitely not the magic potion.
Take it away.
Not at all. There's so many out there. You can go commercial. You can go, compounding pharmacy, which is much cheaper. Well,
now you can just call.
Yeah,
you can call and get a pill now.
You can. The pills are slightly less effective. Obviously, you've got first pass of the liver. Anything you ingest orally is going to be less effective. My personal opinion, injections are always going to be the best. So your GLPs, okay. Obviously, they start off by gastric slowing. So you have satiety longer. Basically, you feel full longer. The food sits in your stomach longer before it drops into your lower GI tract. That's basically how GLPs work. Glucagon like peptides. That's what that stands for. Then you've got a bunch of different kinds. You've got your semaglutides, you've got your tirzepatides, you've got your new unreleased GLP-2s or the trutides, not on the market yet. And they vary. Semaglutide, a lot of people say they get nausea from it. They get lower GI tract, bathroom, we'll call that, issues. That
means they're just taking too much?
I think so. I think sometimes people take way too much to start. We like to microdose ours.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways to microdose. Microdosing, though, is a lot more injections. You can do 25 units by just adding 5 up during the week. You can split it up into 15 and 10 if you want to do it that way. I like to do it that way personally the best. I think tirzepatide or Z-bound, commercial name, is better in my opinion. I think there's less side effects. So if I had to pick one, I would go with the tirzepatide or Z-bound option over the Ozempic and semaglutides, which, again, it's budget. What can you afford? Semaglutide is cheaper than tirzepatide, so that's an option there.
Well, and you got to remember too that with GLPs, it reminds me. So because like GLPs are trendy now too, just like peptides, right? They become the popular thing. And the funny thing was, they weren't even started as weight loss drugs.
No.
They were
diabetes.
They were started for help with diabetes, and then also, that's very typical. Like even Anavar. Anavar was created to help people who were going through muscle wasting, whether they're going through cancer treatments or something like that. Anavar was created to help people not lose as much muscle, and then now it's used. So a lot of times these things are created for different purposes, and then the Kardashians go, oh, I can take it and make a fortune off it and lose a bunch of weight. So if only we had that influence,
right? Not yet.
We could help people.
You might.
I don't have that influence, but I wish we would, so we could get people going the right direction. But my point of all that is, there is a place for GLPs, and I believe it is in two separate categories. One is if you legitimately need help. And I'm saying help as in you have excess weight to lose in 100 pounds over or 50 or whatever it is, and you have tried everything and you can't, and is starting to mess with your brain. You're starting to mess with your mental attitude, and where you're just ready to give up. I feel that this is a great place to go with this, because then you will. It's a little catalyst. Right? Sometimes you just need to see a little bit of a catalyst, like a little spark to light the fire or to relight the fire. Maybe the fire went out. And I believe GLPs can be that spark for someone who's looking for that help. But you got to talk to someone, obviously, who knows the right one to get you on. Right. The second one is if you feel that you are in a fairly good place, or you just want a little bit of extra help as well because you're getting older and the weight isn't coming off like it used to. That's when it comes into small amounts, microdosing, and if you want to spend the money on it.
Totally agree. There is some dangers with muscle wasting from the GLPs. So when you're doing this, you might see or hear a lot of clinics or doctors or online people saying that, oh, don't take this stuff because you're going to get Ozempic face, and that's actually caused by weight loss too fast, or it's going to eat your muscle. I've heard that on YouTube. Once your body decides that it's using this drug and it's not going to go for the fat anymore, it will go for the muscle. So the most important thing you can do if you're going to use these type of GLPs is protein. You have to eat enough protein daily. And that goes with if you're going to take these drugs or not.
Well,
you
yeah,
have to
that goes
protect
in.
muscle.
Yeah, again, we'll say the disclaimer at the very beginning of this is none of this works without proper diet or exercise.
No.
That just doesn't work. So people, and I've actually gotten a lot of messages since I did start talking about this stuff the past few months ago, where they were saying they've known people who started taking Ozempic, but didn't change anything else. Still, going out and eating the cheeseburgers and all these things, and then they were saying, "Oh, well, it doesn't work." Well, you guys, nothing,
they didn't work.
Yeah, nothing works unless you nothing works unless you work it, right?
Right.
And it's just not going to happen with that. So again, the GLPs it could be the catalyst, it could be that spark for you, but it's not going to do it for you. You still have to do some work. Sorry.
Now, we have found the most success with the trifecta of beginning, and this is paramount, good diet and exercise, having a good exercise routine down pat, and being mentally disciplined on your diet first, then optimizing your hormones would be step 2, and then step 3, at that point, if you still need the help, then these GLP drugs are fantastic.
Yeah. So this is not option 1. This is if you've tried everything, you pushed around the logs in the fire, and the fire just keeps going out. Great, this could be that that little spark.
You're gonna yo-yo.
Yeah.
You're gonna gain weight, lose weight, gain weight, lose weight. It's not gonna work.
I haven't
It's
heard
gonna be
this.
hard on your body.
I haven't heard this. This person says I have low vision and those drugs can cause optic nerve issues, so I'm afraid to take them. You heard about optic nerve issues before?
I have. That is a side effect that can possibly happen. It's very rare, as far as I understand.
Yeah.
It's like anything else. If you already have a pre-existing condition, and this is a rare, even possible side effect, I would not mess with it.
Right. So, and that's where it comes into this. If you were talking to anybody, whether it be your doctor or medical telehealth company or anything, and they go, and they're not asking those questions about do you have pre-existing. So, like I have pre-existing cardiac issues from my family. He knows it. The team know it. They're watching it, and that's why everything gets checked, because otherwise they would not prescribe me these things, because that's what a medical team should do for you, is to not give you something that's going to make an issue worse or exacerbate an issue or create an issue in the future. Like that's if you have a team that's doing that, run away, go the other way with that. Someone was asking about Wegovy. Can Z-Bound work for someone who the Wegovy stopped working? Actually, I have gotten messages about that saying they were on a specific GLP or semaglutide and it just stopped working. What would you say to that? I didn't get a chance to ask him about like the rest of everything. Like, did you were you doing anything?
There's a lot of factors.
Yeah.
I can't give a definitive answer on that, and I don't want to give a too much of a vague answer.
Sure.
Again, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
got to
know
go
this
back.
person. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they eat a lot of sugar.
Right. You got to go back. You got to go back to whoever prescribed the Wegovy to you,
Yeah.
and you have to have that conversation with them. If they're not giving the answers that you want, you go find somebody else like Oro or somebody that can ask you those or answer those. I think that was it on that one. This person says, I absolutely hate needles, but it's not that bad at all. See, told you.
Yeah.
It really isn't that bad, y'all. The needles aren't that bad.
But there's other options. The GLPs, they do have sublingual tablets you can use.
Yeah.
They're good, not as effective. To make it close to as effective as possible, you would have to take them twice a day. Like I said, under the tongue, sublingual. So that's an option as well. And then with the HRT stuff, the hormones, there's also troches, sublingual, dissolvable pills for testosterone and progesterone, even estrogen patches if you need that. There's even creams too. So
there's creams. We were at the compounding pharmacy today. I picked the pickle peppers.
there we go.
Picked up Matt and Bree. I had like 3 sips of that. Picked up Matt and Bree at the airport. We went over to the compounding pharmacy that they work with here, and it's actually where I get all my stuff from. And got to go behind the scenes and check out how they do it. It's really cool. But I was looking at all this stuff. They have like everything lined up, and you can see it. Like they have cream, and they have. So you guys, it's not. Nowadays, there's so many different options. Doesn't mean you have to do a needle. Does not mean you have to do injection. It might be a little less effective. You might have to increase your dose. You might have to do it. But like I and Matt and Bree and lots of people we know prefer just one and done injection versus taking 2 pills a day or something like that. But there's lots of options. So don't let that stop you, is my point.
It can even get kind of fringe. I've got friends that work in other clinics, and they prescribe both. So that's an option too if you're looking at that. If you can bear the needle, but you can only bear it once a week, and you've got to do the rest of the cream, you can do that too.
Yeah.
Not my personal favorite, but like I said, a good clinic is going to work with their patient and try to figure it out.
Yeah. So, okay. Let's talk about the P word. Peptides. Because that's the big, so peptides are the big thing. And right off the bat, we know, we both know what people are going to ask in terms of oral peptides and injections, as well as other companies that are out there. And what we're going to say right now is about other companies is don't know their products. We don't have their products. This is not what we're talking about. So in terms of effectiveness of other companies' products, couldn't tell you. Now, what I will say with that, because I have friends in other companies with these other products, is that if it's something that interests you and it's something that looks like it's something you want to try it. Like, if it's an oral peptide, give it a shot.
Yeah,
I hope it works. I really do. And if it works, great. And if it doesn't, then you'll know you tried it, right? So what I like to do with peptides is everything that we've been talking about tonight is optimal and feel, right? Is how do you feel? And what are these peptides meant to do? But sorry, I gotta have myself on that. Tell people what a peptide is.
Peptides, all right. So
because it's everywhere right now.
The basic, just broken down peptide, your body makes them, they are amino acids. Okay, just different forms, different chains. Your body makes over 7,000 different kind of peptides. On the medical side of it, if someone would come to us and say, hey, I need a peptide for something like healing, like soft tissue, maybe joints, tendons, ligaments, there's several kinds. There's pentadecaarginate, there's BPC-157, there's TB-500, there's KPV, and even to go as far as collagen boosting, you got GHK-CU.
Yeah.
They're all wonderful peptides that do slightly different things. The pentadecaarginate and the BPC-157, basically the same thing. That's going to be more of your soft tissue healing. So you really want to look at what does a peptide do in your body. Okay, you don't want to just want to take things. Peptides actually have a specific job to do, and that's the point.
And typically they're one ingredient.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be what it is.
Right.
There's not going to be an ingredient panel. It's going to be that.
Right, and that again, we're talking about We're talking about the peptides that go through a compounding pharmacy. They are synthetic,
and they're frail.
Right.
They need to be kept refrigerated if they're injectable.
You can't like shake it up because it'll ruin it. You told me that. Don't shake it.
Too much.
Not too much. Well, you said twirl it.
Yeah, you got to roll it. So what Joel is talking about is we sell a lot of peptides as lyophilized powder. So he gets to play chemist at home a little bit. Comes with bacteriostatic water. He's going to draw the bacteriostatic water out of the vial, and he's going to inject the correct amount of that into, and I say correct because I don't know, this is hypothetical, whatever peptide he's filling up at the time. He's going to inject that BAC water into there, and he's going to roll the vial slightly and let it dissolve that way.
It's kind of fun. It's kind of satisfying, to be honest with you. Like you got to get used to it because it's a vacuum, so it'll suck the water out. But you get people tell you how to they'll teach you how to do it. But it's satisfying when you're rolling your fingers and you just see it dissolve. But the point of that is, again, shouldn't have an ingredient panel. Shouldn't have nutrition facts on it. That's because that's not what a peptide is.
How many calories are in a peptide?
How many calories are amino acid that goes into your body?
Wow.
But in terms of specifics, so let's talk about specific peptides.
Okay.
Because I've been taking some. The first one that you said you got to try BPC-157.
Yes.
So BPC-157 is it's going through the ringer right now because I believe it's one of the best things that is out there for anything. I'll tell you that. It is
hard to get real.
Hard to get real.
Faked.
Yes. If you can buy BPC-157 over the counter, it's
a gamble.
Yeah, I don't know if I would trust it.
It could be real, it could be fake.
Yeah, and so again, you gotta be careful with what you're getting. But what it does, in terms of soft tissue healing, it technically is considered a performance enhancing compound, and WADA banned it because it works so well to help your body regenerate soft tissue.
You can cut your healing time in half.
It cuts your healing time in half, and so
let's say you got a blown rotator cuff,
right?
Or you've got a That's pretty extreme. Let's
Well,
go
yeah.
more like extreme
Like,
muscle
like
soreness.
okay, so I've been tendonitis, bicep tendonitis, right?
There you go.
Forearm, bicep and forearm tendonitis. I've had in my arm for years from years of lifting. Okay, so I started putting BPC 157 20 units every day right into this, and within a couple weeks, it's going away. So again, and this is
But that's that peptide's job.
That's the peptides job,
That's the key
specific
point.
job that goes into it. Also, by the way, it's not just that. I've also been stretching. I've been doing my rehab. I've been doing my physical therapy. So it's encompassing the totality of everything.
Yes.
But it really is amazing. And now there's arginate pills that you can take.
Pentatech arginate.
Or arginate, yeah.
So BPC 157 and pentatech arginate, hopefully I'm not butchering that, they both do come in capsule form, right? Mainly because that peptide was actually found in your gut, right? So it's not going to get destroyed by your stomach acids, okay? Most things will get destroyed by your stomach acid, and they also have first pass of the liver as well. So that's why a lot of things aren't as effective ingested orally.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why I prefer injections for most of my peptides.
Right. So, and I know we're throwing a lot of information out at you guys, and I hope that, look, this stays recorded. I hope people will go back and watch this. Because I want people to, I hope this becomes a reference piece of material that people can go back and watch and hopefully get some out of this. So someone asked, why does someone take peptides? Well,
Depends on what the goal is.
depends on your goal, right? So are you, in terms of your feelings, so BPC 157 is great for helping heal, and so overall just makes you feel better too in terms of your body. There are beauty peptides out there with a GHK-CU.
Yeah.
That one's amazing. There's
It's a copper peptide,
Yep.
and it's supposed to be blue. Okay,
That's right.
it is blue. If it's not blue, chances are it's fake. So if you're going to like a beauty store, like what's one of the malls now, Sephora or something like that, and they say they have the copper peptide, the GHK-CU serums,
Yeah.
and it's a facial cream, and it's not blue, it's either incredibly low dosed or it's not real.
Yeah, it's like 0.001% of GHK. in
Yeah.
there. You've got, so again, when you go into the peptide world, the peptides are not going to, they're not going to, like every single thing helps, but you don't take a peptide to completely bring your testosterone levels back up.
No, they're not.
You don't take a peptide to for optimal fat burning, or like to take place.
Some will help with
Some
that.
will help, but you don't take it to replace the GLP, I should say, right?
I would stack it with the GLP.
Stack it with the GLP. But so again, the point of it is like it's not you do this to offset these things. Peptides are they can either team up with the GLP or your HRT, or you're taking it for a specific reason. So that's when it comes into having that conversation with your medical team or a medical provider that knows the library. And Matt can rattle these things off all day long.
There's quite a list.
And it's based on what you want. So Megan, for instance, takes hers are, not that she needs it, but she takes beauty peptide, right? So she does take GHK-CU, which is blue, which is always
blue.
funny when it comes out. It's her superhero stuff.
I'll stop you right there. That just real quick. The GHK-CU, if you're going to inject that by itself, just the blue fluid, just the GHK-CU copper peptide, that will sting. Okay, it's copper peptide. Just throwing that out there, guys. Don't think you're going to get this injected. And yes, it's very anti-aging, and yes, it does boost collagen, so your body will start producing more collagen. Some people say it feels like a bee sting.
Yeah.
Okay. So
She does a very low. She only does 10 units though. So she's like, but at the very beginning, she said.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I've tried it too. It can sting. So what you want to do is you can use the facial cream version of it, or like the injections are best in my opinion, mix it with something else that has the same pH balance, like KPV or TB500, BPC 157, or I'm going to butcher what I think it's called epitalin or epithalin. One of the two pronunciations is correct.
I don't think it's
But doing that takes that sting out and increases your anti-aging capability of that GHK-CU, right? Because you're putting in more anti-aging peptide.
Yeah.
So it's a stack again. So it's fantastic. Peptides also in general, they're not overnight. You're looking at 1 to 3 months.
I was going to bring that up after this. Yeah.
So
Go ahead. Say it.
they take some time to work.
You don't take it in a week and feel the difference.
No. It's going to take some time. So if you think you're going to go online or something and hopefully get something real and buy one bottle of something for $50-$60, probably not going to do anything.
Yeah. So this is, everything that we've tried. So as I said, Megan is beauty peptides. So she does GHK and glutathione, right?
Wow. That's
That's a little bit of everything. That's
glutathione's amazing. It's
Yeah.
a very powerful antioxidant. It's really great for your liver.
Yeah.
Helps your liver process, detoxify.
Right. So those are the
Great
only
products.
Those are the only two that she does. And then for me, I've been like guinea pigging because again, I wanted. I guinea pig as much as Matt will let me in terms of saying, I'm like, hey, I want to try this. And like some of the things he's even said no. He's like, no, you're predisposition for certain things and we don't want you, to put yourself in.
You got to protect your heart.
Exactly. It's kind of important. You only have one. So, but I have, BPC 157, I absolutely love it. IGF-1, again, it's not something like you feel a difference. So IGF-1 is insulin growth factor.
Insulin-like growth factor.
Insulin-like growth factor.
We use IGF-1 LR3, so it's got the arginine chain as well. Mm-hmm. This stuff works with your body's natural insulin,
right?
To help you actually grow.
Yeah. So if you want to, muscle building, right? Now,
but you're not really like a bodybuilder.
Well, also you can take this and not lift any weight and not see a difference.
Right.
Right. And you guys, and I have not gotten really bigger at all. But I just wanted to see, but it does help in terms of your strength. It's like what I told Megan after, because it takes a while to kick in, right? Where I even said, I just feel like I can lift more. It's not like I saw like size increase or anything like that.
Oh, you're gonna feel fantastic.
But you just feel like you can lift more. And if you feel like you can lift more, you're gonna lift more, which guess what lifting more does? Builds more muscle.
You have a program called Lift More, right?
I do. It's funny how that works out, right?
Yeah.
So
the IGF is fantastic. It will help you put on size if you're lifting for size and you're eating for size.
Right.
To get it all the way back to step one.
All the way back.
You can take straight anabolic steroids and not lift or eat for size, and it will do jack all.
Yeah. And that's and so when you hear, so I want to make this very clear with everybody is when you hear people who are in that part's frozen. I've just been watching. If everybody's watching. There's but when you hear about people who are getting huge, right, in terms of the bodybuilding world or something like that, and that they're on IGF and they're on creatine and they're on Anavar and they're on Winstrol and they're all these things. The amount, it all comes down to the amount as well. I might be taking IGF, they might be taking IGF, but I am taking this much every week. They are taking this much every day. So it's, the amounts of it.
Yeah. That also comes down to the person's genetics too. If your genetics allow for that, if you're going to have a super physiological response to a compound, then you're going to get those kind of results. Mm-hmm. For the rest of us that just kind of have normal genetics, some of these guys you see on these bodybuilding stages, these guys, their genetics are unbelievable.
Yeah.
So even using a little bit of a compound for some of these guys is going to take them so much further than anybody else.
But they're still taking a lot.
Let's
be honest, they're still taking a lot, which there's nothing wrong with that. It comes down to, again, what you want. I have tried all these different things and my calves have not gotten bigger.
Genetics.
Sorry, I have given up on having big calves. It just will never happen, and that's fine. I've given up on that. So, but with the peptides, y'all, I hope this helps you guys understand that peptides should be honestly one of the last things that you talk about when you're talking to your team, your medical team, because there's so many other things you got to get right first if you're not feeling well. Like all the peptides was the last thing that Matt talked to me about. The first thing was testosterone, getting your levels right, getting your levels checked.
Blood work.
And blood work, and then based on that, yeah. So, okay, so I want to make sure there's no other questions on this. I know there's a lot of people tuning in, tuning out, and I hope that everybody goes back and watches this. The replay will always sit in the Facebook group. I think we nailed a lot of the questions that people asked earlier. And hopefully, this is kind of your last chance. If you got any more, you can take a sip now because we've been talking so long.
Well, I've been sipping.
I've been sipping.
You said it was Whiskey Wednesday.
It is Whiskey Wednesday. And we're finally sipping whiskey in the bar, too, which is awesome.
Completed.
For the most part. I still got to wrap the beams. Yeah. But it's looking pretty good.
It does look good.
But, so, recap, sum it up. Matt Sexton. from OURORX. He's the owner. He is the practice.
I'm a owner. There's three
A
owners.
owner,
I'm
practice
owner, not the
director.
owner. I'm the practice director. The medical director is Dr. Ken Bowden, DOFACOS. His name is on all the prescriptions. Okay. If you talk to me, I will be doing everything. Getting all of your clinical notes, going over your health issues, ordering your labs, helping you figure out what might be best for you, and making recommendations for you for the doctor. And at that point, once we get your labs back, we will both together sit down and review everything. Then we will both talk to you again, or he will just have me talk to you based on everything so far. Again, we get hundreds of patient applications a day, so not everybody gets to talk to the doctor right away. Just like if you went to any doctor's office, you might talk to their NP, their MA, their RN. You may never talk to the doc, but the doctor will look over everything for sure.
Yeah. So this is, so, that's the thing is, I know Becky is watching. Hi, Becky.
For the females, our CEO, Bree, she is fantastic. Sometimes women just aren't comfortable talking to men about these things, especially the sexual health, Not all women are going to get on the phone and talk about the vaginal dryness, and that's okay.
Yeah.
If that's you, just let us know. We can get you a consultation with Bree. She is our resident female health coach and expert in all things female hormones as well.
Yeah, so you got a lot of people they're there to help you, obviously, and Kent and Becky are again 2 close friends as well, and the only people that we would trust with this. But
Becky's doing all of our marketing. So if you guys are following us on Instagram, her and Bree are tackling that, but Becky is knocking that out of the park. So if you guys
looks really good. She's sending me the slides. So if I'm posting the slides, y'all, Becky's doing it. So good job, Beck.
So if you guys like that, please, give it a heart, because that would mean a lot to her. We love her, so she's doing a fantastic job.
Yeah. So what is it? It's at Oro. I'm gonna put this in the chat. At Oro_X, right?
Yeah.
RX.
Oh, if I did mention it, Bree. Not only is she the CEO, she's also the CFO, so she's how we get paid. So like I said, if you want to talk to her, tell her we love her too. She makes the company run. We can't do it without her.
Yeah. So I just added, so you guys at Oro_RX is on Instagram. Are you guys on Facebook?
Yes.
I would think so.
I don't know how much content's on Facebook yet. We are going to start a YouTube as well. I think we're going to do a TikTok, but I think it might be banned.
Who does TikTok?
I don't know.
Kids.
Nobody wants to see me on TikTok.
Nobody that needs testosterone therapy or hormone replacement therapy is on TikTok.
Yeah.
And I'm not the kid. Our kids are on TikTok, and they're like, I watched a TikTok, and then I realized that I'm getting older because I said the TikTok.
That's exactly.
I was like,
somebody said Pinterest earlier. I think that was Bree. It's like, who has Pinterest?
Our oldest does Pinterest. Like,
really?
She just scrolls.
Maybe
they scroll through it and they're like looking at boards and stuff like that. It's just absolutely crazy. But OURORX.com, at Oro_RX on Instagram. They, all I can tell you guys is, again, there's no substitute for diet and exercise, proper diet and exercise. You still have to put the work in. But as we are getting older, and there's a reason why I haven't talked about any of this before, is because I didn't need to, because I was younger. I felt great. Now I'm getting older. I wasn't feeling so great. So as I'm aging, I'm looking at all the ways to keep my body feeling the way it did when I was 25. And that's why I have been in this for over a year now. I'm going to continue it. I'm going to keep trialing things, and I'm not scared of being the guinea pig. I'll try things out and see what they're like, and so I can talk about it. Yeah. So even
I can only test so much.
You test it, and then you only let me test so much as well. Yeah. But anyway, so I think we're gonna wrap it up. This will be pinned in the feature tab as always, and I hope you guys go back and watch it. I hope you forward it to people, and you guys can.
One last thing.
Yeah,
we are trying to pioneer the female health industry. Mm-hmm. So if you guys know women that really need help, please give them the OURORX name. We are putting a very heavy emphasis on that, because we know that women go into their doctor's offices and they get written off. Yeah. They don't get the labs they need. They don't get the help they need.
It's easy for guys.
Yeah, it's very
easy. Just walk in and go, here you go, here's your testosterone. It really is messed up. Sorry, y'all.
But females are having a very hard time, so we are trying to rectify that as best we can. There's only so many of us in the company. We're hiring more people on soon. But again, we are trying to really focus on women. Even getting specific dosages, specific vial sizes down, monthly prescriptions for females for all of your hormones as well. So
Yeah.
tell everyone our name, especially women, because we are here to help.
Love it. So it is Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
And tomorrow's Thanksgiving. So want to say happy Thanksgiving to all of everybody who celebrates it. Thankful for you guys. Thankful for this group. I know it's the holidays, so there wasn't as many people tuning in tonight as normal, but want to say thank you, a heartfelt thank you to you guys from for everything over the past month. This has been a great group. We've had a lot of fun. We got one more workout on Friday. It's a live workout. It's going to be 11 a.m. Central Time, just like all the other ones have been. And this is going to be the special burn it off workout. And I haven't decided what workout it is yet. It might have a taste of the new program in it. It might. It just depends.
News to come.
Yes. So we're going to have a lot more coming on that one. But seriously, you guys, heartfelt thank you for everything. I'm thankful for all of y'all. And, I'm going on over 10 years now in this job. And Matt's known me longer than that. So he knows that this has been my life for a very long time. And I love it. So Friday workout. And then we go into December, got the Advent calendar. I came up with an idea where I'm going to post every single day, midnight the night before, and they don't know what the workout is until it posts.
Oh, not me. I like it.
So yeah. That one's coming up, but the workouts are loaded into Facebook. They're going to be popping up, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And I hope you guys have
discounts.
Discounts. Okay.
We do discounts.
Here's your Black Friday discount.
Yeah,
There you go.
So OURORX does military, active, and veteran discounts. We do first responder discounts. Yes, that includes firefighters.
Yeah. Also, speaking of Matt,
nurses, pilots, doctors, call us. We can hook you guys up too. Your jobs are incredibly hard. Trust me, I know.
Yeah. So Matt is veteran, former JTAC.
Yeah, Air Force JTAC.
Yeah. Thank you, buddy. So he's right there alongside with all of you guys. Also, if you have an opportunity, I meant to post this earlier. I'm going to post it tonight. But if you have an opportunity, this is a time that can be very hard for people, obviously, with loved ones, military, overseas, anywhere. So, if you have an opportunity to reach out to people, and if you have an opportunity to help people, it's this time of year where people could use help, even if it means just buying them a turkey or putting food on the table for them. So if you have the opportunity to do so, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to post a thing where we can donate as well to families in need, to raise money for whether it be Toys for Tots or anything like that. I just haven't found the charity. I've been trying to find one that we can do that just helps overall family. So if you have a suggestion, send it to me so I can post about it, okay? Have a great rest of your night. Happy Thanksgiving, and we will see you Friday. I might even be able to talk him into joining. We'll see what happens.
Maybe.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Later.